Hello my dear students, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to start multiple choice questions of chapter 2 of class 12 physics, that is electrostatic potential and capacitance. And first I will discuss case study based questions, and this is first part of case study based questions. I will make two parts, right? In this chapter there are many important topics like electric potential, potential difference, electric potential due to a point charge and also due to a dipolar system of charges. Next, equipotential surface is also very important. After this, electrostatic potential energy of a system of 2-point charges and also of electric dipole. Right? All these topics are very important. Then conductors and insulators. After that, important topic is what is dielectric, what is electric polarization, then capacitors and capacitance, and after that combination of capacitors in series and parallel. Next very important topic is capacitance of parallel plate capacitor and what happens when the parallel plate capacitor is placed in between the dielectric medium, right? Then capacitor increases, decreases, what happens. So this topic is also very important when dielectric is placed between the plates of a capacitor. And last topic important is energy stored in a capacitor. So it's my suggestion that before watching this video, you must go through one short revision of this chapter, which is available on my channel and link is given in the description box so that it becomes easy to understand this video. So let us start today's first case study based questions, which is based on electrostatic potential, right? Yes. So first case study is based on electric potential. You know what is electric potential? An electric potential is defined as amount of work required to move a unit positive charge from a reference point to a specific point in an electric field without producing an acceleration, right? There is a source charge, suppose Q, right? And due to this source charge, there is electric field in this direction, right? Suppose a point test charge Q naught is placed in this electric field. Now, what is electric potential? Suppose you want to move this test charge from this specific point, reference point, to a particular specific point, suppose at point A. So, because this test charge is placed in this electric field, it experiences some force and force is acting in the direction of electric field, this one. So, this test charge experiences force in this direction along right side, but we want to move this positive charge from this point to a point A point, right? So you have to apply some work done against this force now, and that work done is called electric potential. So it is written clearly that it is defined as amount of work required to move a unit positive test charge from a reference point to a specific point in an electric field without producing an acceleration, right? This term is very important. Usually, the reference point is taken as Earth or a point at infinity. You can choose this reference point at any point on the Earth, or you choose this reference point at infinity. Now, what is the amount of work done in moving this test charge from this infinity to a particular point A? That amount of work done is called electric potential. Okay, it is also written that the potential energy for a positive charge increases when it moves in an electric field. This is the direction of electric field right now. So, if it is written here that the potential energy for a positive charge increases when it moves against the electric field. If charge is moving against this electric field, then potential energy increases. And if the charge is moving in the direction of electric field, it means its potential energy decreases. This is valid for positive charge, right? So it is written that the potential energy for a positive charge, it increases when it moves against an electric field and decreases when it moves in the direction of electric field, right? Like we define electric field as force per unit what? Per unit charge. Electric field is what? Force per unit charge, right? In the same way, we can define electric potential. Electric potential is what? Electric potential as potential energy per unit charge. Electric potential is this one U. Electric potential is denoted by V and it is equal to potential energy per unit charge in the same way as electric field is defined. So its unit is what? Unit of this electric potential is also unit of energy. This is potential energy is joule per coulomb, right? So unit for this potential energy is, here it is clearly written that unit for this potential energy is wait, this one, na? Joule per coulomb, or you can say SI unit of joule per coulomb is equal to volt. So this is the unit for electric potential. After that, the electric potential near an isolated positive charge is positive because this is a positive test charge Q naught. So near this one, the electric potential near an isolated positive charge is positive because work has to be done by an external agent to push a positive charge in from infinity. This work done has to be done by an external force in moving a charge from this infinity to a particular point, right? So that's why potential energy near an isolated positive charge is always positive. In the same way, electric potential near an isolated negative charge is negative, right? Because the positive test charge is attracted by the negative charge. This one is positive test charge, and if it plays in the field of this minus q charge, field is there around this charge. If q naught, you want to move q naught, so here potential is negative. Why? Because it is attracted, this positive test charge is attracted towards this negative charge. So electric potential near an isolated negative charge, right, is negative because positive test charge is attracted by a negative charge. The electric potential due to a charge Q at its own location is not defined, right? If you want to find electric potential due to a charge at its own location, own point, then that is not defined. It is infinite. This sentence is also very important. Because of arbitrary choice of reference point, the electric potential at a point is arbitrary to within a additive constant, right? But it is immaterial because it is a potential difference between 2 points which is physically significant. Diagram is given here, right? Wait, in the diagram it is given that, yes. So at this point, the total potential due to this charge Q1, Q2 and Q3, Q1 is at distance R1 to this point, Q2 is at distance R2 and Q3 is at distance R3. As you know, potential is a scalar quantity, so total potential is just addition of potential due to all these individual charges. So total potential at V is equal to KQ by R1, KQ1 by R1 plus KQ2 by R2 plus KQ by Q3 by R3. This is the total potential at this point due to all these charges. We simply add this potential as potential is a scalar quantity. So potential due to a point charge, what is the formula in terms of K and Q and distance? Potential at a point charge due to charge this Q is given by KQ by R. R is the distance at which potential has to be determined. So hope it's clear to all of you what is given in the paragraph about electrostatic potential. It is given that what is electric potential, right? What is the formula for electric potential? What is the direction for electric potential due to a positive charge, due to a negative charge? Electric potential is always in a direction opposite to that of the electric field. It means it decreases in the direction of electric field. Electric potential decreases in the direction of electric field. Okay, so hope it's clear to all of you. Now next, coming to question number 1. In question 1, it is given that which of the following is not true. It means you have to find the wrong statement, right? First A is, for a point charge, the electrostatic potential varies as 1 by R. You know, for a point charge, V is what? V equal to KQ by R. It means V is inversely proportional to 1 by R. So it means this option is correct. Now, this is correct statement. So according to the question, you have to find the wrong statement, right? Second one, for a dipole, the potential depends on the position vector, dipole moment vector. Yes, for electric dipole, what is the value of electrostatic potential? It is given by V equal to Kp by R square, right? So for a dipole, the potential depends on the position vector dipole moment, right? Dipole moment also and position vector also. On both these factors, the potential depends. So this statement is also correct. According to the question, you have to find the wrong statement. C. The electric dipole potential varies as 1 by r at larger distance. At larger distance, what is the value of electrostatic potential? V equal to Kp by r square, right now. So V is inversely proportional to 1 by r square. Here it is given the electric dipole potential varies as 1 by r at larger distance. So I think this statement is wrong. Okay, let us check it. Fourth statement is given that for a point charge, the electrostatic field varies as 1 by r square. Yes, it's true or false? For a point charge, the electrostatic field E is given by what? K Q by r square. So E is inversely proportional to 1 by r square. So this option is also correct. So which option is wrong here? You have to find the wrong statement. Yes, third one, C part. The electric dipole potential varies and 1 by r at large distance. This is wrong. It is inversely proportional to 1 by r square. And all other three statements A, B and C are true. In this way, you solve this question, right? Okay, next come to question number 2. In question number 2, it is given that the variation of electrostatic potential V and electrostatic field E with distance r from a point charge Q is correctly shown by the graph. In one graph, two things are given. This graph is also for electrostatic potential V and also for electric field E. How these two, electrostatic potential and electrostatic field, varies with distance r from the charge. So which option is correct? You know, for a point charge, what is the formula for V and what is the formula for E? You must know. For a point charge, V is what? K Q by R, and E is what? K Q by R square. It means V is inversely proportional to 1 by R and E is inversely proportional to 1 by R square, right? Now, in both cases, with the increase in distance R, E and V both increases, right? So, this fourth diagram is totally wrong and this third diagram is also totally wrong because both decreases with distance R. So, these two is wrong. Now, come to A and B. In A and B, here also E decreases with R and V decreases with R, and second one also E and V decreases with R. But which option is correct, right? At one point, you know, when suppose R equal to 1. When R equal to 1 centimeter, at one point both V and E coincide, and in this graph only both coincide at one point, right? So this graph is also wrong. Also, V is inversely proportional to 1 by R. It means it decreases with 1 by R and E decreases with 1 by R square. It means E increases rapidly as compared to V. So this E decreases rapidly, like this one, as compared to V. V also decreases but little bit lesser than E. So this option is correct. Option number B is yes. Now question number 3 is, what is the electric potential at the center C of the square? This is a square, each having side A and A. Square of side A. Now you have to find electrostatic potential at this point C, at the center of this square. So first you find distance of the charge to this point. So this distance from this plus Q charge, minus Q charge, plus Q charge and this minus Q charge, all distances are same. And you know potential is a scalar quantity. So you have to find total potential at this point C as V equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 plus V4. Simply add all these potential. Now distance is same and there are two positive charges and two negative charges. Right now, try to find the answer of this question. Please pause the video. Yes, V1 is what? K Q by R, and V2 is also another positive charge K Q by R. V3 and V4 is due to negative charge. So minus K Q by R and minus K Q by R. Here distance is same, right now? R. You know diagonal of the square is what? Diagonal of the square is root 2a by 2, and this is half, right? So diagonal of this square becomes root 2a. You can easily find with the help of Pythagoras theorem what is the value of this, right? So all these distances are same. So this cancel with this one, this cancel with this one. It means net charge is 0. So total potential is also 0. Total potential is how much? 0. Which option is correct? First one is 0, second one is kq by a root 2, third one is kq by a square, fourth one none of these. First option is correct. Because potential is a scalar quantity, here there are two positive charges, two negative charges, they are cancelling each other, and net potential is 0 at the center of this square. Hope it's clear to all of you right now. Next question number 4. Question is, n small metal drops of same size are charged to V volt each. There are n number of metal drops right now, and each charged to potential V, each having potential V volt, right? If they coalesce to form a single drop, if all these n metal drops combine to form a single big drop, right? Now, its potential will be here. Each small metal drop has potential V. It means n number of metal drops have potential NV, right? Now you have to find the potential of this bigger metal drop. Let it be V dash. How you find? In this type of questions, you first assume that what is same if these n number of metal drops combine to form a big drop. Yes, what is same? Volume is same, right? To try to solve this question, please pause the video and try to solve it. I am also solving here, right? So you can write in this way as volume of one big drop is equal to n times volume of each small drop, right now? So you know, let the volume radius of this bigger drop is capital R, and radius of each small drop is small r. So volume of one big drop becomes 4 by 3 pi r cube equal to n times volume of each small drop is 4 by 3 pi small r cube. Here 4 by 3 pi cancel. R cube becomes n r to the power 3. One relation comes from this volume equation right now. Now, here it is given that volume potential of each small drop is what? V. And V is what? Each having charge Q. So, potential of each small drop is, let it be V is K Q by R. Right? This is the potential of each small drop. Now, you have to calculate V dash. What is V dash? It means potential of bigger drop. So, it is again K, potential of bigger drop, let it be Q by this radius is what? Capital R. What is this Q? This bigger drop has charge Q and is made up of these smaller drops, each having charge small q. It means this Q is equal to potential of charge. This capital Q is equal to what? NQ. So this potential becomes K. In place of Q, you can write NQ by capital R. Now, what is radius of the bigger drop? From here, you can find R equal to Q comes to this side, right hand side. So, N to the power 1 by 3 R. Right? So, you put these values here. It becomes, yes, it becomes K N Q by R is what? N to the power 1 by 3 small r. Now you can easily find by calculating this one. K is here right now. N is here. Here N has power 1 and denominator N is power 1 by 3. So 1 minus 1 by 3 is what? 2 by 3. So N to the power 2 by 3 Q by R. You get this one now? Right? K N to the power 2 by 3 Q by R. It means new potential V dash is how much? This KQ by R is what? KQ by R is potential of a smaller drop. So you can write here that n to the power 2 by 3, this KQ by R is potential of a small drop, it is V. It means potential of bigger drop becomes what? N2 by 3 V. Which option is correct? Yes, D option is correct. V n to the power 2 by 3. How you get this answer? First you assume that when n drops combine to form a bigger drop, volume is same. From that one you get this relation R. R is the radius of bigger drop equal to n 1 by 3 smaller. Now volume of each, potential of each smaller drop is given as V equal to KQ by R. You have to find potential of bigger drop becomes KQ by R. R is radius of bigger drop. And what is this charge of bigger drop? This is NQ. You just put the value of this R here. You get the answer V equal to N2 by 3, the potential of each smaller. Hope it's clear to all of you, right? So option number D is correct. Okay. Next, come to question number 5 here. Yes, question is, a hollow conducting sphere is placed in electric field produced by a point charge placed at point P. At this point P, point charge is there. Due to that point charge, electric field is present around this point charge. Now a hollow is conducting sphere. This one is hollow conducting sphere is placed in this electric field as shown in the figure, right? Now let VA, VB and VC. At point A potential is VA, at point B potential is VB and at point C potential is VC on the sphere. Then what is the relation between these potentials VA, VB and VC? VA is greater than VB, VA is greater than VB, VB is greater than VC and VA equal to VC. Which option is correct? Yes. Try to solve it by pausing the video. Yes, very good. Yes, you must know that in case of this hollow conducting sphere, potential is same at every point. It means VA equal to VB equal to VC. So which option is correct? Yes, option number D is correct. In this way, you solve all these questions based on electric potential. Right? So one case study based questions already solved. Now come to next case study based question is based on Faraday case. Right? Now the second case study is based on Faraday case. What is this Faraday case? Faraday case or Faraday shield. You can say Faraday shield is an enclosure made up of a conducting material. It is related to electrostatic shielding. You already heard this word electrostatic shielding. What is electrostatic shielding? Yes, think about it. Electrostatic shielding. It means what? It is the phenomena of making a region free from any electric field. Suppose this is a region and inside in this region there is no electric field. This phenomena of making a region free from electric field is called electrostatic shielding. And how you free any region from electric field? If this region is made up of conductor. In the same way, Faraday shield or Faraday case is made. It is an enclosure made up of a conducting material, and you know inside the conductor field is zero. The field within a conductor cancel out with any external field, so the electric field within the enclosure is zero, right? This Faraday case acts as a big hollow conductors. You can put things into shield them from electric fields. You put the things inside this Faraday case right now so that those things will be protected from the electrical effects. If you want to protect anything from the electrical effects, you put that things inside this Faraday case. Any electrical shocks the cage receives pass harmlessly around the outside of the cage. If anything happens, any shocks or any electrical shocks receives this Faraday case, it passes harmlessly around the outside of the case and you protect the substance which is kept inside the Faraday case from these harmless electric shocks. Right? You must know these things. The electric field inside the conductor is 0 and this Faraday cage is made up of that conducting material. Inside the conducting material, electric field is 0. So you put all those substances inside this Faraday cage which you want to protect them from the electrical shocks. So based on this, there are some questions, right? Hope you understood this paragraph. Okay. Question number 1 is, yes. Question 1 is, which of the following material can be used to make a Faraday case? Faraday case is made up of which material? Plastic, glass, copper or wood? It is made up of conducting material. And which one is conducting material? Yes. Think about it fast. Yes, plastic is not a conductor. Glass is not a conductor. Wood is not a conductor. Only copper is a conducting material. So, the Faraday case is made up of this copper, right? Next, question number 2. Example of a real world Faraday case is car, plastic box, lightning rod and metal rod. Which one is example of a real world Faraday case? Your house is also a Faraday case. It acts like electrostatic shielding. But here options are car, plastic box, lightning rod and metal rod. Which one is a real world Faraday case? Yes, car is made up of what? Car is made up of conducting material, na? The body of the car is metallic, na? So it becomes an electrostatic shielding from lightning. This body of the car, which is made up of conducting material, acts as electrostatic shielding and it protects from the lightning. So this real world Faraday case is made up of, is a real example of this car. Car is correct option because it is made up of, its body is made up of metals, right? Next question number 3. Question is, yes, what is the electrical force inside a Faraday case when it is struck by lightning? Yes. What is the electrical force inside a Faraday case when it is struck by lightning? Suppose this is a Faraday case made up of conducting material. When lightning takes place, what is the electrical force inside a Faraday case? You know, inside the Faraday case, electric field is 0. So, what is the value of electrical force inside the Faraday case? Yes, F is what? E into Q. If E is 0, it means electrical force is also 0. Which option is correct? Yes, option number C is correct. The same as the lightning, option A is wrong. Half that of lightning, a quarter dozen, all options are wrong. Only what is the electric force inside the Faraday case? 0, because electric field is 0. So, electrical force is also 0. Hope it's clear to all of you. Right now, next question number 4. Question is, an isolated point charge plus Q is placed inside the Faraday cage. Its surface must have charge equal to, there is a Faraday cage, right? And plus Q charge is placed inside this Faraday cage. Now, what is the charge on its surface? You know, induction process. Due to induction process, how much charge is present on the surface? Option 1 is 0. Option B plus Q. Option C minus Q. Option D plus 2Q. Which option is correct? Yes. Pause the video and try to solve it. Yes, due to induction process and equal opposite charges induced on the surface, right? So, which option is correct? Option number C is correct, minus Q charge. In this way, you solve this question also. Next, question number 5. Question is, a point charge of 2 microcoulomb is placed at center of Faraday cage. Suppose this Faraday cage in the shape of cube with surface of 9 centimeter edge. Here Faraday cage is in the shape of cube, each having side 9 centimeter. And inside this Faraday cage, means cube, how much charge is placed? Plus 2 microcoulomb charge is placed. Now the number of electric field lines passing through the cube normally will be. You have to find number of electric field lines, means flux you have to calculate it. Flux means 5. And according to Gauss theorem, what is flux? This is a Gaussian surface. It means closed surface. Inside the closed surface plus 2 microcoulomb charge is present. So I apply Gauss theorem for closed surfaces. Total flux through any closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times total charge enclosed within the surface Q inside. So what is the value of Q inside? 2 microcoulomb. It means 2 into 10 to the power minus 6 coulomb. And what is the value of epsilon naught? Yes, 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12. So calculate this one. You get how much? After calculating this one, try to calculate it. A 1.9 into 10 to the power 5 Newton meter square per coulomb entering the surface. First, you think about it. Number of flux passing through the cube means entering the surface or leaving the surface? Yes, leaving the surface. So, first option is wrong and this D option is also wrong. These two are for entering the surface. Now, from B and C, which one is correct? 1.9 into 10 to the power 5 Newton meter square per coulomb leaving the surface, and C option 2.26 into 10 to the power 5 Newton meter square per coulomb leaving the surface. Which option is correct? After calculating this one, you get answer 2.26 into 10 to the power 5 Newton meter square per coulomb leaving the surface. Which option is correct? Yes. Option number C is correct, right? In this way, you solve all the questions, right? Now with this, I am going to end the class. 2 case study questions are also left in this chapter. So I will cover that in part 2, right? So up to then students, keep revising and stay tuned with this channel. Thank you.